And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. All right, I think that's good. And a red fish. Let's check the YouTube. YouTube sounds good. YouTube sounds good. All right, we're gonna put that away. Right, we're working on the string outfit, which I've decided to call Diamond Drops. I got it started in Substance. So we'll take a look at You Are Totally My Substance. All right, here's what we're doing. It's trick time. So this is what we're doing. So we've taken the outfit into Blender and we separated out the strings so they're easier to work on. In addition, because the 3D pen tool only works in 3D, I also mapped this flat plane, so I can use the 3D pen tool on the flat plane as if it was a 2D surface. Instead of trying to get all of these lined up on these little strings here, I just come up and just line them up straight on this plane, and the overlapping IDs allows me to just match them up like that. So I'm getting away with, and I'm probably going to do this a lot more in the future, because I like the 3D pen has got a bunch of cool stuff, and we're blocking chat. It's got a bunch of cool stuff, but it only works in 3D, which, if you're going over something like this, it's nearly impossible. It would take forever to line those up there. This was a little tedious, but a heck of a lot faster just to put the straight lines on the flat plane. So this is probably a technique you'll probably be seeing me do more of, where we export out a plane along with the outfit that have overlapping UVs so that I can, and basically I applied the UV template onto the background layer. I think it's like way back in here somewhere so that we can see what we're doing. And then these line up with these. So it's like doing it in 2D, but we're in 3D. So anyhow, I might make a video explaining that. I'm not sure how to do that. But anyhow, right now, so I went ahead and I set up the rhinestones. Well, those are the strings under the rhinestones. We're going to change those. Right now they're all red. And I need a mask that'll mask these off from these for, metallicity and what purposes. So I have got this I kind of got it thrown into DAZ real quick. So this is kind of what we're looking at in DAZ. If I set that up with the displacement map, and I actually have a geo shell underneath it. I don't know. I think it's going to be okay. It's not exactly kind of what I was picturing, but I think this is workable. Sarah, of course, doesn't need the top. We're going to include a top and a bottom. And so now we're just kind of setting these up. So I think the next step is, I think I'm going to put a silk under here, and we're going to have rhinestones across the waistband. And I think across here, and I might put rhinestones across the top as well. I think we'll do that. This one I'm going to have to probably open up, or because of the way the rhinestones are, I'm probably going to have to mask that out a little bit on the edges so I don't get little half rhinestones. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to mask that off, and we're going to just make sure we don't have any partially chopped off rhinestones on here. So we're just going to mask those out when we put that in there. So that's what we're working on. I'm going to turn you back to texture shaded, and we're going to work on that tonight. I think silver, gold, I don't know, pink, yellow, something, I don't know. Well, there'll be a black and there'll be a white, which is an awful lot like silver, except in silver, I just make my silvers a little blue. So we're going to have silver, gold, black, white, pink, and maybe a baby blue, a lilac, and a light green. So that will give me, what, 8? We'll do 8, and that'll be shiny. So we're going to put a silk on the back. So silk will be backing the rest of the collar, the top, and the bottom. And then we're going to work on, I've already kind of got some set up here and on the collar. I got to put some rhinestones across the top. Then we can think about saving out these for texture sets. I'm debating whether or not I want to put a geo shell, because I can use a geo shell to kind of back this up, but I'm not sure if that really, I'm debating the complications of trying to load this in and texture it with a geoshell and not. I think I'll play with it without and see if it really looks like it needs something on the backside. So in the meantime, let's get our silk in here. Our silk is just going to be behind basically everything. I want to make a mask for this, so we're going to do that out first. I'm going to use the opacity channels for that. I have made an opacity mask already, which you can kind of see is going on in here with the strings, so that's going to kind of work. But I want a mask that'll allow me to kind of grab these individually, the little connector parts. So we're going to look at that. And basically, it's going to be a variation of our opacity mask, and I'm going to resave it. So what I need to do is just kind of hide. I gotta kind of make this black. And then I can just have that white. I think that's what I need to do. Can I put an invert filter on here for the opacity to make it black instead of white? Then I can save that, get this white, and then use that as a mask for just selecting and coloring the in-betweens a little bit. I don't even know if I need to do that, honestly, because I can color them individually. Why was I thinking I needed it? I was thinking I would do that because then I could put an opacity on that. And if I did the geo shell behind it, that might look cool, but that might not. I might be working at too fine of a level with the resolution of our masks. So we may not do that. It's kind of the direction I'm heading in. I'm leaning towards not doing that. Okay, so let's just go back to material here. And I already have the rhinestones for the waistband and the collar. And these areas don't have rhinestones because that's actually where the strings are going to be kind of hanging off. So let's get a silk in here. We'll just use the silk generic. I generally like that. It's got a little bit of a bump into it. I'm going to actually drag it back. Somewhere back in here, I think. I'm going to put it right there so we can actually see the texture template coming through. And I can hide that as we need it. But if we need it back, booyah. And then we can work over here if I need to do 2D. I do need 2D for this. Let me see how this goes. Actually, I think I'm gonna do this into 3D. I'm gonna run that across and around. And this is partly why we have it separated. So let's do that. And what I'm going to do is we'll just pen this through. Are you picking up? You picking this up? You're not picking up. You picking up what I'm dropping down? No. Let me come in here. Let me select that. And then hopefully now we have that as my pen tool. There we go. And then we can tweak this to fit better. And then we just kind of run that along like so. See, if I do this right, I can kind of get the 3. All right, so we're just going to set this up and then we'll go back and tweak. And I should have paid attention to what I'm doing over here. I'm going to pay attention now. I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to have you right at that point there. So I can get rid of that. You're just going to kind of be a center point. I got to figure out how to get this. Hey, Willie, how are you doing? Let's lose that one. Let's pull you over to this point. We're doing the rhinestone stringy thingy. Hey, and Charles is in the house. All right, that's not closing up. There's a setting for that. I always forget what it is. All right, let's see if we can find a thing that closes that gap. And is there a way I can... You know what? We'll do that. No, I'm not doing anything random on here. Never mind. So where are you? We're going to look through here. There's like a start and a stop. Oh, it ends when closed. There we go. That's what we want. And then there's a way I can size that up, right? Stroke width. But that stroke width everything. So let's stroke width that to maybe about there. Get you into the center a little bit. We're going to clean some of these off. And then there's a way to scale this. I can only go down, I can't go up. That's annoying. So what we have to do is we have to make the whole stroke too big, and then we can make the part smaller. So we're going to scale that up so it kind of fills in this whole gap here. Let's see how that goes. And you're just dropping off the... I think that has to do with the depth or something. The projection depth needs to be a little higher on that to get that to work. I'm not crazy about that angle, so maybe if we add a few more in here, we can kind of smooth that out a little bit. And then we can... See, I can squeeze that down. I can kind of squeeze you in. So that looks kind of good there. What do I got? What the... I got some weird stretching on this. Do I have a projection? Is there a projection option that allows it to curve better? I think what it is, it's just going straight. It doesn't curve over. Is there a way to get it to curve over a little better? Probably not. So what I may do, you know what, I'm going to get rid of you. And I'm going to try something else. I'm going to set this up as a single. Somewhere in here. Where's the presets? Select and apply. Single line diamond. There we go. And then I might just be able to... And does the mirror going to work with this? Probably not. You know, the singles look fine on the back. I kind of like that. So this is going to be a little tedious. What are you doing over? Oh, that's right. It doesn't go all the way to the end. I remember that now. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna do this over here. This is where the big flat plane comes in. We're gonna do it on the big flat plane because it'll be easier. I can do it in segments. Ooh, and I think I can just go all the way across. Oh, you did not. You did not. I'm gonna try to redo this geometry a little bit. Look at that nasty ass shit there. What the hell? Marvelous designer. I'm looking at you, marvelous designer. Single line diamond. There we go. I'm going to put that there. I should be able to fix those without changing the mapping on it. You know what? I don't want to put that over there. I think I'm going to put you... This is going to get nasty. And then I can bring you over here. And then I can adjust you. So these just sit a little bit better in the spacing. Like so. And then if I just run... And am I doing... What kind of mapping am I doing here? I'm obviously not doing tangent mapping. Can I switch you to tangent mapping or something? Oh, no, no, wait. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 this probably isn't going to work. Let's take a look. That's what I thought. Okay, so I'm gonna run them on the inside and the outside. Like that. We're gonna do this. This is gonna be a little tedious. You know, it would be nice if I could grab those paths and flip them. Is that an option? Because what I'm ending up going to doing is I'm just gonna just fill this in with rows like so. And adjust these so that they sit inside of that. And I think maybe 2 more rows like that. And we just adjust that. Why did you do that? I think I need to make those smaller or something. I mean, I could just go... No, I like that better because it's going to follow the curve a little. It's going to look better. Uh, so I'm going to just make that stroke width down a little bit, and I think I get a little bit more control this way. I'm going to try to get that in there. Oh, there's like that point where it doesn't... I'm going to mask some of those out. So I think maybe make it a little bit bigger. Well, there's no happy medium there, is there? Maybe if I just stretch you out further, and then I can probably... And then we'll mask out some of the extraneous ones. Maybe we'll do that. All right, we'll try that. There you are. I really can't see these control points. You know what? I'm just going to put you right about there and then add one right about there. And I'm going to copy that, paste that over here. So it's the same size, and then drag you into position is good. Put another one in here. It's probably okay. We'll drop another one. I'll do 2 or 3 more of these, depending on how we get them to fit. Oh no! I need to make these all red because it's easier to work with that way. All right, I'm going to have to mask that one out. This one here is up here somewhere. It's over there. Okay. I want these to be red because it's easier for me to change the colors that way. And then we'll just copy you, paste the properties over here, paste that properties over here. What was that again? Control Alt B. And I can just do that. Oh, I need to change the width on that one. That one right there. We had made the width a little bit smaller so it fits better. And we're going to mask that a bit. Okay. Moving along. I think I'm going to put one more in here. My phone's just doing crazy stuff. Okay, is that going to be good enough? I don't know. Let's go take a look. No. And I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take a big row and just run it straight across. And then mask. I think that's what we're doing. We'll just run a big row through here and through here. Then we'll do it in 2 parts. So can I just, I'm just going to run through there. I'm going to leave the single rows in the back. What we'll do is, I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut these and move them onto another layer. Actually, you know, let's just dupe this layer. Is it Control D? Yes, it is. So over here, Chris, if I added a ladder into my scene and I wanted to make a couple of instances, yes, or you can do instances if you want to make multiples. So select your item, edit, create, somewhere in here. No, create. There it is, create. So you have new node instance, which can do one. If you want to do multiples, you can say new node instances. And that'll give you the option of how many you want to do all at once. And this groups them together when it does it. I have my outfit. I probably shouldn't have done that. So if you wanted all your instances grouped together and there's more than one, you can do it that way. Instances, as opposed to just the create instance. Node instance, node instances. And I think you can move them and scale them, but I think if you do other options, if you change the colors, all the colors are linked to the main one. And I think if you got morphs and stuff in the main one, the geometry and stuff gets mirrored across. But I think the position and the scaling are individual. I'm just going to check that. Let's do that real quick. I can grab one of these instances. And can I just scale that by itself? I think I can. So scaling. So I think the scaling, the rotation, and the translation, the transforms, you can apply individually. Yo, Zach, how are you doing? So that's instancing in a nutshell. Oh, you like this one? I don't know. It's coming out okay. I'm texturing it in substance. And I just realized my geometry is really nasty in here, so I'm going to redo the geometry a little bit. I'm not that far along, so I'm not losing that much work. Ooh, finished with finals. Yay! So I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm just going to re-export this or what, but my textures are still good. Textures are still good. So right now I'm adding these rhinestones, and the 3D pen tool doesn't work in 2D view. So what I did is I got this giant plane that I'm texturing where the UVs overlap these. It works, but it's not going to work for what you're doing. It doesn't put it where I want it in the scene, and I don't feel like having to move them all from where they're going where I need them. Well, there is that too. You do have to position them. If there's a lantern there, you might be able to copy and paste positions, but I'm not sure how well that would actually work out. So actually, I'm going to undo that. I'm doing a little bit of cleanup on my layers here. No, where are you? Where are you? Who are you? Oh, you're over here. That's right. I made a copy. I made a copy of the wrong thing. I have no idea what you are and why I made a copy. I don't need you. I wanted to copy a copy of this. Instances appear group and need manual position. Yes. Well, if you do multiple instances at once. I think the single instance just comes in by itself. You can drag and drop them. That way you don't have to find them. Oh no. And it's loading them at the center. I mean, you can always parent them all to a to a null and just move that all together at once. Or actually, it's in a group, right? You could just move the whole group to wherever you kind of need it centered. But it doesn't line them all up. I think, although I think you can zero them all out, or maybe not. Or maybe you can. Yeah, and then they're all in one happy family like that. Oh, and I actually instanced the Geo shell that was on here. And then you can just grab the individual ones as you need them. Anyhow, what am I doing? I'm going to hide this for a second because I don't want those two paths in this object here. I do want this, but I don't need those. And I love the fact I can't select multiple paths at once. That's sarcasm. Not very good, but all right, let's see what I'm. So I'm gonna do this. Can I get you to just go to one side? Is that an option? Let's see what sort of weird options we got. Rhinestone offset. Rhinestone offset Y. Oh, that just makes them bigger and smaller. That doesn't move them. Rhinestone size. So what maybe I need to do is pull these down so that these run along the top and then clean them up. We're going to put a crease on that. Or maybe I should just break it. You know what? I'm just going to break it. We're just going to end it there. I'm just going to go back and delete these off. And I'm just going to drag you until you fit. I'm going to make these bigger so that they can come down into here, I think. And then we'll mask off the ones that are sitting on the outside. Actually, I think I could just do that with the, here, let's see, can I just do that with the black mask? Color picker. That doesn't seem to be actually masking it off. Is it masking it off over here? Nope, not really. Why is my color selector not working? I don't know. Can I just black mask that? Let me just get rid of this. Let's just add a black mask. It's not black masking this off. Well, that's going to be annoying. Why you know black mask? Is it because I got the weird overlapping UV thing going on? Yeah, but it's still. I'm confused. I was counting on being able to maybe mask that off with something, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't want to. I'm not having fun putting these on individually because I'm not liking the way they look. Maybe we just don't put rhinestones on the top. Actually, maybe. Well, I was trying that, but that wasn't working. Why are you not masking? Can I mask anything with this method? You would think I should, right? So what if I put a color fill in here? What if we put a color mask with a color selection? See, that works. Is it just the 3D pen tool can't be masked off? I don't know. Maybe. You know what I can do is I can block this off with something that'll cover it. Maybe. No, I can't. Never mind. Why, oh, why? Oh, I'm on the wrong freaking layer. That explains it. Yeah, I'm over here. Doy. That's a big old doy. Mask with color selection. That's better. That's what we want to do. All right, now we're cooking with propane and propane products. All right, we're going to change this so that this will be big enough, and then we'll probably just need to move these down like so. get you over here somewhere. And then just change the scale of that stroke width. Crank that up so it fills kind of like that. We're getting there. All right, escape. That's looking fine. Then we just do this side. And the idea is just to get these so it fills in like so. You need to pull these down. I like that one there. Looking good. See, that's getting there. Only I gotta tweak that a little bit, don't I? That isn't a good look. Let's see if we can just kind of push that kind of into there. And then what I want to do is I want to adjust this down. I'm looking at these little points right in here. You know, that's going to be good. All right, let's get this one. So I'm just going to run this through real quick like so. And we're just going to make the adjustment on. You know what? I need this on a different layer though. I'm going to copy these over to another layer. This. You know what? I'm just going to dupe you and delete. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Control D does the same thing. Never mind. There we go. And come back into here and get rid of that, and that, and that. And then over here, get rid of that and that. And I'm getting a little bit of bleed in here, but I'm going to fix that up. We're just going to add a paint layer in here. And then I can just come in. Actually, I'm going to add a paint layer onto here. And then I should be able to, oops, I need to flip that the other way, right? And also I want to paint UV so I can clean that up like so, like so. All right, and then back to this. And the idea is to get that top row running along the edge. You know what? I'm going to put one right there, and then I can adjust with one. And maybe if I just drag you. I think that looks good. And then we'll just set one more in for over here. I got to do a little bit more masking on that. Almost there. I tweak you just a wee bit. And then we come back into here onto the paint layer. And we can clean that up. I think I'm good. I think I've got all the rhinestones done. I think we're going to go with that. I think I've got the main texture set up. We're about ready to start setting up these for colors and stuff. What were you? I forgot what you are. Oh, you're the color selector. You're that layer I just did. And you're that other layer. So these are the two tops. We're going to No, you're not. You're the, what are you? What exactly are you? I can't tell. You know what? You're probably a blocking layer or something. I'm going to get rid of you and worry about it later. I got that fill there, which is the UV map. This is looking good. I'm going to adjust the bumps on the silk a little bit. I think we're going to scale the silk. Let's get the normal turned on there. I think I'm going to set the silk to be triplanar projection. That's looking horrible. I'm probably not going to stick with that. Maybe we go with the UV and adjust the tiling. There we go. I'm seeing the silk now. That's going to do the trick. Are we good here? I think so. I think it's a matter of just setting out some colors and setting it up and seeing if I uh really hate this or if it's going to be good enough. I am leaning towards good enough. I think we got the ID map done. So we're going to start. So the rhinestones. Let me organize all of this stuff. I don't know what you are. Oh, you're just an empty layer, I think. You are, these two are the top, so I'm going to group those together. Right. And we're going to call that top rhinestones. Rhinestones. So that's good. This is the collar and the waist. I conveniently have got that named already. That is a fill layer for, I don't know. I'm not sure what that did. I'm going to hide that. These are rhinestones. So I'm going to put all the rhinestones into one big group. And then I can put a filter onto that. Rhinestones. And maybe I could just put a big filter on everything and color all at once. I might try. Actually, I'm going to do it different so that the silk is a little bit different color than the rhinestones. Oh, but I want these to be, yeah, those are the strings. Those are the cords. We're going to pull the cords out. I'm going to turn them off for a second. Yeah, so that's actually not rhinestones. Those are cords behind the rhinestones. And we're going to make those different colors so they contrast. Also, we're going to set up the height map to normal. Oh, and I'm going to set the rhinestones. Okay, where am I? Rhinestones. So the rhinestones will be colored together. The cords are colored together. The silk will be colored. And I think, do I actually got a color for the silk? I actually get a color for the silk. How cool is that? So I don't have to actually put in hue, saturation, and lightness filter on that, but I could. You know what? I'm going to do that with the cords. We're going to group these together. And I'm going to make this red. And now we're going to do, so I'm going to set the height map to normal and the normal map to normal on that. And then over here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make sure that the normal map is normal and the height map is normal. so they don't blend in with the stuff behind it. And I'm going to put a hue and saturation filter on here. Hue, saturation, lightness. And then we can tweak that color. Ah, it burns. Also, we can do the same thing here and tweak that color. And then I can copy these about 8 times, and then we can tweak. So the silk and the cords will be a color, and then the rhinestones can be a slightly different color. Although maybe I'll make the cords. No, I think we'll do it that way. Let's try it that way. So I need the filter there. HSL. I don't know where that went. I'm undoing that because I have no idea what I put that on. I got empty filters down here. I thought I had that. Let's get rid of that. Okay, do I have you selected? I have you selected. Are we adding the filter this time? We added the filter. I see empty filter. HSL. Okay. I don't think I need these. So I'm going to pull these down here for now. I'm going to tweak the normal a little bit on the silk because I think that might be a little over the top. Do I have an adjustment for that? For the height? Maybe, maybe not. Wrinkles? There we go. Oh, I think if I just dial that back, it softens them up. So I think we'll do that. And what is in folder one? Folder, I'm going to say cloth. And then I'm going to group these. And we're going to call you white. So we're just going to run through here and quickly just crank out a bunch of copies of these groups. Black. So I know that these are the sets that I'm going to set up. Silver. Gold. Pink. I need some cool names for a blue and a green. We'll go color name shopping here in a second. Control D. So we're going to put a kind of a light blue. Light blue colors. Let's do that. Light blue color names. Yo, DJ Streaming Energy. How are you doing? Good to see you. Everybody, check out our good friend DJ Streaming Energy. She's a super cool DJ, as the name might imply. Drop a follow. Check her out if you can. Her and her little wolf pack. We want a light shade of blue, kind of like Curious. No, I don't like those. Baby blue. You know what? Maybe I'll call it Carolina blue. Maybe the Carolina blue. I think I kind of like that name, Carolina. I think we might go. I think I'm going to try that. I'm going to put that over on screen too for a second. Doing good. Glad to catch you online. I am actually making a dress. It's well, it's not actually. It's kind of this weird stringy outfit. Sort of like maybe part of a showgirl outfit, but I'm just going with the stringy part. And right now I'm making the textures for it. And we've got it on our androgynous shape right now. Let's put the female shape on here. So this is kind of what it's designed to look kind of like, something like that. And it simulates. I'm going to simulate it, and it gets all droopy and stuff. It's going to look kind of like that. And I have a test texture on there right now. So if I render this, you can kind of see where we're heading with it. So sort of like that. I'm probably not going to be able to show the final versions on Twitch because we got some under boob showing there. Something like that. This is the test just to see how my strings would look, and I'm kind of liking how those are. So, and then this is going to be kind of a silver or a silk under here. I'm actually going to have rhinestones on here. We'll have rhinestones running across the top, and there's going to be rhinestones similar to what you see in the strings running along the waistband. So that's what I am making today. We are currently doing the textures. So I'm setting up my basic colors. So right now I'm just getting these blocked out. Then we're going to go in and switch the colors. Then we're going to save some of this out and apply it over here. I don't need you anymore. Go away. So what did I say? I was going to use this Carolina blue. So I'm going to put that over there and call this Carolina. And then I'm going to dupe you. And then I want like a lilac. I can't spell lilac. What the hell? I want a lilac color, not a lilac rock band. Come on, man. There we go. Look at all those pretty lilacs. I want something like that, I think. So we're going to color sample that out later. Oops. I accidentally closed my blues. Oh no. Um, Pink, blue, lilac, and I want a green, and I need a cool green color name. I'm Googling over on screen too, like green color names. And so we are looking for something kind of pastel-y. Those are nice, but not what we're going for. There we go. Like sea foam. Muted green. Minty milk. Maybe minty milk. I'm going to just call that mint. Or maybe matcha. No, I think the mint is what I'm leaning towards. Although I like saying matcha. But I think we'll call it mint. So I'm going to put that over to the side. And we're going to duplicate that. We're going to call this mint. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop. So I'm going to close. We're going to hide all of this. And then we're going to set these colors up one at a time. And so the idea is I can't actually sample that, but I can kind of eyeball it in. Oh no. I'm running into a weird. It's a weird memory issue. Ow, 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 it hurts. Did I not put a... I didn't put my hue saturation filter on here, did I? I gotta do that. Hue saturation lightness coming right up. There we go. All right. Let's make you... You are a... But then saturation gets dialed down and the lightness gets taken up. And we are looking at something kind of like that. So I'm going to then do this. And we're taking the saturation down. And I'm going to take that up like that. I don't know if that's going to come... You know what? I'm going to do it with the... we'll take that saturation up. I want it just a little bit off, and I'm not sure why it's not... I think it's just memory. I think if I close some stuff down later on, it'll come out right. Let me see. Control Shift E. Let's export. I'm not going to do that at 8K. And we're going to do this at 4K. Let's do our 5, because I've already got the opacity map done. 5 channels. Close. Export. It does kind of look like chains. All right, let's take a look at our... No, it's still not... It's still not rendering out right. Wow, wow, wow. Also, did my normal map come out? My normal map didn't come out. My roughness map looks like poop. Arg. I'm not going to worry about this right now. I'm just going to set these colors up and then worry about it. All right, so we're done. We're done with the mint. We're moving on to lilac. So lilac is kind of a purpley, and the same deal here. And I can't see what I'm doing, so we'll pop over and put the filter on this one because that red is just blinding me. And I'm going to put you kind of in there and desaturate you a little bit. And then lighten you up a bit. So I'm still getting that weird... I'm optimistic that it might go away after I'm done streaming. I'm hoping it's just some sort of weird memory issue. I'm going to hit save right here. And we're going to move on. And this is just basically a light blue on this one. I do red because it's easy to work with the filter. That bright, obnoxious red. Because we're just color shifting it. And if it was gray, I couldn't. You can't add saturation to something that's completely desaturated. We can desaturate it, but you can't saturate it because there's nothing there. Would I be interested? Possibly sometime. What are we doing? We're doing the blue. My hues aren't changing because I'm doing the wrong thing. I totally put that filter on the wrong thing. We're going to do that. Same thing. I'm just going to desaturate that a little. Maybe. And then take that up. Then we adjust this one. Pulls a little saturation off of that. And actually, I think I'm going to... Actually, I want you to go this way. I think we'll do that. Okay, pink. I like to shade my pink over towards the purple a little bit. We'll put a little bit of that, and then kind of like that. And then we'll kind of do the same thing. Slide that over towards blue a bit. That's like hot Barbie pink. We'll take a little saturation off that and lighten that up. Okay, gold is usually kind of an orange color in Chris's world. Orange leaning towards yellow and a little darker. So I need to add that into here. We need our filter. So I'm going to just kind of take you kind of in between like that, pull a little bit of saturation off that, and then just tweak kind of in there's orange. This I'm going to make a little more saturated, I think. So we're still going to pull you over into, actually, you're just going to be a little darker, I think. And I want you, maybe in there will work. And silver is almost white, but with just a tinge of blue. The way I do it, and that way it's a little bit different than the white. And the white's just a neutral, like the black's just a neutral. I'm adding a filter. You think I would have remembered this by now? HSL. And what is the silver? So I'm going to take you into the blue. I'm going to desaturate you a lot and then make you brighter. And that's basically what passes for silver in Chris's world. So make you brighter, desaturate, and shift over. And maybe a bit brighter. Maybe a little less. It's probably going to work. Okay, black. And when I say black, I mean really dark gray. Once again. And this is just basically take the saturation all the way off and then just crank it way down, but not all the way down. And we'll do the same thing with the rhinestones. Saturation off and crank you way down. And just a little bit different than the other one. Okay, yeah, if you would, that would be great. Not saying I'm going to do it, but I can look. I have been thinking about maybe doing some sort of lingerie again, but we'll see. Add a filter. HSL. And what are we on? We're on white, which basically is no saturation, and crank it up, but light gray. Daz really blows out the light colors by default. I find myself always adjusting the, there's a setting. Daz starts at like 0.2, which like really, what is it? It's burn the highlights or something. Really kills your whites. Just blows all the whites up. And the light grays. Even at that, this will probably get blown out. So maybe I'll just make that a little bit darker. So sometimes I end up with whites that are like darker than a light gray. It's just weird that way. Anyhow, and then this. You know what? I am going to pop those up because those have got to shine, baby. All right, I think we're good. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to close this down and reopen it. I'm going to see what else I got open that I can maybe shut down. I got Photoshop open. You know what? We can probably close that down. I'm going to save that into my whip folder. I don't need that picture of biscuits open in the background. You know what? We don't need these promos. We can save those. Those have been open since yesterday. What the hell? You can save that. What else did I leave open today that I don't need? You know what? I don't need you open. I can close all of you. I've only got. Oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna be right back. I see a screen I want to close, but I don't want it to pop up on stream. So I'll be back. Okay, we're coming back. Did I close Substance? I did. All right, let's reopen Substance and see if it's looking any better. Adobe Substance 3D Painter. And if it's not, I've got to figure out why, what in the world it thinks it's doing. Why are my colors not working? It's possible I'm masking something in some sort of weird way. I am hoping it's a memory issue that, no, it's not. Mm, 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 mm. That's close. So what is it? Oh, no, no, is that right? Or is the colors, if I switch that to base color, no, that looks right. I think I'm good here. I think I'm ready to start exporting. I'm going to do this in baby steps though. Well, I'm going to do here, we'll do the 5-part one. But the normal map, let me see, do I actually have, I'm pretty sure we should see a bunch of stuff in the normal map, right? So that's what the normal map should look like. Often if the memory gets a little stressed, the normal map gets dropped. So we'll try this. I need to save an ID map so I can make a displacement map. Okay, so let's take a look at that. See, I don't see anything in there. So we're going to resave the normal map. In my color map, I see the stuff in the color map. We have our height map, our metallicity map, and our roughness map are looking good. That I'm going to call mint. And if I click on it enough times, it'll let me edit it. Okay, so let's move these over. We started setting up our project folders a little earlier today. So we have our runtime and textures and me. And right there's where the project needs to go. And I just am doing a top and a bottom for this. This is just going to be a simple. So we're just going to put these in here like that. Okay, my normal map didn't work, so we're just going to try to export it by itself. So if I do that, it might be able to, because while it's, I don't know, it seems to eat up the RAM for each one, but it doesn't let it loose for the next map. So if I just do a single map, so we'll just come over here to normal. We'll export that. And then we'll pop over to here. And there we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. Yay. And there's much reducing. All right, we're going to cut you, move you over to here. Control V that. I want to save the ID map too, so let's get that. I'm going to save that at 8K. I'm going to use the ID map along with the UV map that I've already made saved for making a displacement map. I have a displacement map for the string set up already, but this is for the rest of the outfit. What did I just say? ID map. Right, there we go. And I said I was going to do that in 8K. So we'll switch over to 8192. Export that. That's good. Oh no. I'm getting no differentiation in there. It'll be fine. I think. I think. Uh, yeah, it'll be fine. I actually only really need this for these parts. This is the strings are all down in here where you can't see them. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna cut and move you. You're gonna go live over here in the whip folder. Okay, I want to make the dirty version, so let me go get my generic dirt. Storm. Let's try storm. Storm. So once upon a time on the Storm Raider outfit, I made this dirt, which is pretty handy. We'll just put that there. We'll switch you over to material so we can see. You are looking corroded. Did I? Oh yeah, it's the corroded green. Yeah, right. That's what it's supposed to look like. Uh, so this is the worn mint. Control Shift E. I don't need the normal map. That's not going to export out properly anyhow. Do I have a 3 channels? I do have 3 channels. Let's do that one. I think 3 channels does a color, a metal, and a roughness map. And I don't need to redo the height and the normal map for the dirty version. And we're, oh no, I'm going to cancel that because I need 4K maps for that, not 8K. Okay, that's going to be Warren Mint. It's going to be Warren Metallic. And that's the Warren Roughness. Okay. Okay, we've got 1 out of the 8 sets done. So now we just need color maps. Because we have all the underlying maps for the dirty and all the dirty and all the clean versions. So I'm going to turn you off. And then we just do this. Clickety click. And I think you're fine. And we're just going to do color. And export that. And come and hang over here at the export. Did I not move you guys? Lilac. It's not real. It's close. I think it's close enough. You know what? I didn't. I just copied and pasted. I didn't move them. Now we've moved them. Should be fine. Care. That should be an A. Carolina blue. We'll come over here and wait for our map to show up. And I don't need to move those all one at a time. We'll get the other ones done. Hank. All right, gold. That was the wrong button. There we go. I got to redo that mesh though, because I don't have enough geometry on the top part of that top. I think I'll just go into Blender and just add some more cuts in there. Actually, we'll go to Marvel Studio and re-export it back out, and then I'll refit it. What is this? Gold. It's almost a little too orange. I might desaturate that in Photoshop later. That just has a tinge of blue to it. It's just a cool gray. All right, black. Because you always have the black and you always get the white. It's the law. And the white. And then we do the dirt. So we got 7 more. All right, activate the dirt and go on dirty lilac. Or I always say worn. It's just the way we do it. And by we, I mean me. We've got our Sarah mug today. That is our worn lilac. For those of you who haven't been taking care of your clothes, this is what they end up looking like. There it is. I'm calling that Carolina blue. And I forgot to say worn. Pink. That was the wrong button. Gold. Isn't this exciting? Got to add, I want an underscore in there. It's just the way I do things. All right, silver. The old Control Shift E brings up the export dialog box. I hit that so often the E is vanishing on my. The E and the A and the N are going away. I think that was silver. Black. And the last one is white. And that's the textures for this outfit. Get you to say white. Move these over to the texture folder. Oops. AX, there we go. Control V. Yay. All right. I'm going to fix this because the geometry on the top, I didn't realize how janky it was. These really long things I don't like, so we're gonna redo this. Always goes faster the second time. So for that, are we done? We're done with this VRAM hog. So I'm gonna save that and close it. And then we're gonna open up another VRAM hog, Marvelous Designer. And Marvelous Designer just greedily eats up all your VRAM a little at a time. Every time you move your mouse, going, oh, you moved the mouse. I need more VRAM. Mine. Oh, the mouse moved again. I'm going to get more VRAM. And before you know it, all your VRAM is occupied. All right, that's good. So when Marvelous Designer gets really slow, that just basically means it's been running too long and it's eaten all the VRAM. Bad Marvelous Designer. Bad Marvelous Designer. I think that was updated in, I think that was a 24 update where they decided that that was the thing that needed to happen. Oh, there's another update already. I'm going to bypass that for now. You know, there's that rule you don't update stuff in the middle of stream. That never goes well. So I'm going to add some internal lines in here to try to get some extra geometry. Are you in my recents? Diamond, that's the OBJ. I'm looking for a stringy 2. That's it. back when I had no idea what to call this. It was just stringy 2. So we're going to freeze everything. And what we're going to do is we need more geometry in these things. Let's get the wireframe going here. Where's the wireframe anyhow? Is it one of these maybe? Wireframe. There we go. Look at that craptastic geometry. I'm just going to do some inset lines off of this to just force that to give me. So maybe we'll add like, I'm going to set this off to like 9 and 18 and whatever, 27, 36, something like that. So offset as an internal line. I'm going to say 9. If I just say that, does that... I'm going to do this. We're going to redo this. We're going to do this a couple more times. We're going to do this, you know, in a few steps to get a little bit more. These are still a little too long. So we're going to do 9, and I'm going to do 1, 2, maybe 3. That's not too bad. A little longer than I want. I'm going to do that. I'm going to freeze these, let them settle down. I don't like that. I'm going to try this again. Let's do this, but say maybe 10 this time. I didn't want to do 10 because it's too close to my particle distance. But we'll... maybe we try... I'm looking for something that looks a little neater. 10 was going to... We'll stick with 10. This is going to deforce really poorly. That's one thing. I'll just live with 10. And then what we're just going to do is just going to grab those, do that. Because what I want to do is I want to give that a chance to kind of bend a little bit better. And then we're going to stop that, and then we're going to re-export this out. All right, let's hit save on this. File export OBJ selected. I'm going to do over that one. We're going to replace that. Oh no, we don't want that frickin' avatar. Why do you think I want the frickin' avatar? Why is that the frickin' default? Frickin' fricker. Okay, we'll try that. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, I'm going to reset you. This is a two-step process. Instead of fitting it to Genesis 9 in Marvel Designer, we're going to do that over here. So we're going to use we're going to import in that OBJ we just saved, which doesn't fit, but don't worry, we've got a plan. I'm trying a crafty trick that has been working out for me, so I'm going to keep doing it until I find some reason not to. There we go. I'm going to call you a bodysuit. I'm going to call you a bodysuit tight. So what this is the Genesis 8 female figure shape. So I'm going to now shape this down to the Genesis, to the base feminine body. So that doesn't fit. But if we bring it in as a morph target, it will fit. And then when we scale it back up, it should still fit. So we're kind of like reversing this out to fit it. So I'm going to load in as a morph target. So I'm going to load in the shape for the base feminine. Except that, oh no, it's because I had the wrong thing selected. It works better if you have the right thing selected when loading a morph target. That only happens about half the time. Yay. Okay. And we just dial that up. Control Shift F. Now it fits the base shape. We're going to save you out. I'm going to overwrite. I'm going to overwrite this thing that says base because that's what I was using that for. Yes, I would like to replace that. Let's do that. Okay, Control Shift F. We're going to update our base geometry with that, which we just saved. And now it fits. Yay. And then just to make sure, that it fits our feminine shape. I need this. I need this name right here. And then I'm going to make sure that loads in as a morph target. Yep. Doop. Doop. Grab that. I'm going to rename that to be whatever that crazy technical name was for the, and that was in it. No, I lost my clipboard. That's okay. I got to copy that over here. That I need this text right here. That's the name. So this morph needs to be called that, and then accept. And I put it on the wrong shape. Damn it! All right, let's try that again. Let's select the right thing this time. Once again, I have applied a morph target to the wrong thing. Okay, this I want to rename. Come on. And accept that. Okay, they were so close to each other. It didn't really change. All right, I think we're good. Now we can rig this up and save it. Well, you have it. Actually, we have the base rig saved. I have to re-clean up the material names because it got all the garbage in there again. And actually, let's zoom in, and we can see we've got our better geometry up there now. I got to resave the texture template now because I've changed it. The big shapes are still in the same place, I think. I hope. So all my textures should line up. I don't think anything moved out of place. Should be fine. I might be a little overly optimistic, but I super believe in you, Tad Cooper. Okay, that's all good. Seeing, let's put our edit geometry, add the smoothing modifier, edit geometry, convert to sub D. Okay, one thing I want to do with the smoothing modifier, because of all the goofiness going on, is I want to set the smoothing type to generic. And then I'm going to memorize that with that secret memorize button. Okay, this, I think I hit save, and this I can close, and you can't see that one side over there. And this is good. Couple little things. Let's put the generic shader on here. Let's add the D-force. Let's adjust the D-force modifiers right off the bat. First thing we always do. Almost always. Change that bend stiffness to 0.1, and it probably won't explode. I'm gonna add some contraction to the top and the bottom, just a little bit. We'll set those to like 95. I'm going to set the waist and the collars to be a lot stiffer. So we'll set those to be like half strength on the dynamic strength. And then let's see how this works. I might stiffen up the the strings. I sewed all of these strings together to help them hold their shape a little better. I think that's going to be fine. Let's clear that. You know what? I'm at the point where I can actually set this up to be saved with material. So we'll go ahead and do that. I want to make my displacement map. What do we got? 12 minutes. I can do the displacement map. Uh, I need a texture template. So we need to get this new geometry into Blender, save the texture template. I want to check something really quick before I get too far and I end up crying. Yay! That's what it's supposed to look like. Okay. Sorry, no crying today. There's no crying in baseball. Isn't that it? This ain't baseball. All right, import. I need the thing we just saved. Either one of these. I'm going to resave this back out. Export UVs. Is that it right there? There it is. I'm going to overwrite that. I think I'm going to do that at 1892. 8192. 8192. Overwrite that. Okay, I don't need this anymore. I'm going to come over here. We're going to go to templates. I'm going to open you up with Photoshop. Open with is not near open. So I actually have the displacement map set up for all the strings already. So I'm going to use that as a separate, and I have an opacity map for that too. And we can't see nothing. That's fine. I'm going to head out and edit photos. All right. Hey, good to see you, Zach. Take care, buddy. I need my magic wand. There we go. Control Shift. I don't need any of these. So we'll unselect those. Nope, that's not how. Is that what I want to do? I think I want to do this, right? Nope. Which one is use the minus? You look like a minus. There we go. All right, I need a new layer. I need to do a fill on that with white. We'll put a little bit of an inner glow on those. Okay, I need the trim. So this is where we need our ID map now. That one right there. Nope. You know what it is? I got selections going on. Let's try this again. That's better. I just need this so I can select just these trim parts here, here, and here. Oh, and the collar. It's got a trim on it. It's good. Oh, I'm going to change the tolerance on that. Actually, you know what? We're going to say contiguous on that so it doesn't run off. That's better. New layer for that. Oakley dokley. I can hide this now. And I need a... So we're going to fill this in with the foreground color. And we'll put that inner shadow on that. And I'm going to put a little... No, I don't want an inner shadow. Never mind. That was the wrong thing. Inner glow. Inner glow. That's why I wasn't looking right. All right, inner glow. Also, I'm going to do an outer glow with that. Gives me a little bit of a shading on the inner edge of that. I say, okay. We'll see how this works. I need a black layer in here. Right back in here, maybe. And that is our displacement map. I got this weird little spot up here. Why? I don't know. Which one are you on? You're over there. You know what? I can probably just erase that and it'll go away. All right, file, export as JPEG. Where did we end up? We're in documents. I want to be closer. Right there. I'm going to call you displacement. Actually, you know what? I'm going to mix in the other displacement map with this, but that's fine. Displacement. So over here in whip, I have a displacement map. This is the one for the strings. I'll combine that with what we've got in here. I think I can just screen that. Or actually, I can just drag you to right about there. That'll work. And then say this is one big happy displacement map. Export as somewhere in here, something that should say this, didn't I? It's right there. There it is. And then I'm going to copy it. I have an opacity map in here. I'm just going to copy that over. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to copy that over to here. I don't see where I'm copying it. Never mind. Right there. We'll put you right there. All right, now we're ready to, we're going to set up the textures and then we're going to save this out. So for the most part, and I'm going to do the gold. Somewhere in here, something that says metallic. So that goes there. You got a hot map. Put that over there. Here's our normal map. Oh yeah. I got my displacement map right in there. I'm going to tweak this a little bit. The strings are going to get more displacement, so they pop better, I think. Actually, no, let's just make everything 0.2. We'll see how that works. Yeah, it's too orange. I'm going to change that gold. And opacity. Wait, do I have... I don't have my roughness map in here yet. Roughness map. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Right there, glossy roughness. There we go. But let's see, color, roughness, bump. Nope, you shouldn't be there. Bump, normal. And then I just need cutout opacity for the strings. Where'd you go? Where did you go? Did I not put my opacity map in here? I thought I just did. I guess I didn't. Let's try that again. There it is. I didn't want to do that. I need to drag and drop you. All right, let's see how that's looking. Let's do a test render and see. You know what? I think I'm going to make some adjustments. I think maybe. I don't know. It's in the ballpark. I want this to come all the way down here. I didn't get that far enough. So I'm going to adjust those. And then I just got to resave all my colors. Wow. And we're just about 9 o'clock. So I think I'm going to save this like this. I think I'm going to tweak the... I don't know. The roughness is pretty shiny. The strings are looking kind of shiny. I think I will adjust the roughness so it pops a little more sheen to it. I want to... Here, let's turn off that. Let's select the outfit and let's do let me get that saved out. There it is. I had saved it earlier. We're just going to overwrite that because we've completely changed it since then. The product is Diamond Drops. Right now I'm just going to call it full body. At some point in the future, I'm going to break this into 3 parts. This is going to be the top. This is going to be the collar. And then we're going to just have a bottom. So I think I can just accept that. So I'm just going to sim this. We're going to take a look at how that looks and call it a night. Find somebody to raid. It is Thursday. Typically on Thursdays, the Dans are streaming. Either my good friend Bad Tooth Records, Dr. DK, aka Dan, or Dapsta Dan, because I'm a Dapsta Dan man. Uh-oh. I lost my chat. Is that DJ Ray? Hey, it's SROM Music. Dude, how are you doing? Sup, fam? Oh, there's DJ Ray. That's right. It's a National Buttermilk Biscuit Day. I was going to make some today, but I didn't get around to it. I got busy in the late in the afternoon into the evening. But I picked some up today. I don't know. I think I'll make them tomorrow. Anyhow, where are we at? I've got this saved. Let's make it floppy. Okay, I gotta tweak that top. I don't like the way that did that thing. I'm really tired for no good reason. You don't need a good reason to be tired, dude. Uh, there we go. Hey, and everybody, check out SROM Music too. He's currently playing Injured Reserve streams, which means he's going through various parts of a music history and lore. So it's really cool. So if you get a chance to check it out, I highly recommend it. Last week I think was Punk Week. I think before that we saw Session Musicians, was really cool. Um, I know we saw that awesome Summer of '69 Harlem concert series. More people attended that over the summer than attended Woodstock. Oh, I met somebody who went to Woodstock. What's even cooler? I'm going to try to find it. He has this picture of a crowd, and he goes, "That's me," and it's like, ooh. Oh, this is Harry Nilsson week. There you go. So everybody, give Ezra a follow. Saturday night. Chris, you need to call it a night. Hey, no worries, Charles. We're calling it. We're getting out of here now, man. Um, Thanks for being here. By the way, everybody, check out Charles. Doesn't stream, has a Discord, occasionally does stuff in it. But let's see who's on and let's call it a night here. Um, that is YouTube. That is Twitch. So my good friend Dapster Dan is on. I'm going to go to the bottom of the list. I think I rated Dapster Dan last week. So it's either Zyrostana's on. We'll try to get Zyrostana next week. Bad Tooth Records is on. I'm seeing if there's somebody growing up in upstate New York with a bunch of old hippies. A lot of folks. Oh, yeah. I'm in the Hudson Valley, and this guy is like one town over from me where we got our kitten. So Bethel really isn't that far from us. My buddy goes to the concerts at Bethel quite a bit. My next door neighbor. You know what? I think we'll raid Rumikin tonight. We'll do that. Um, he does words on stream. He makes puzzles, and he opens up a Kinder Egg. So let's go hang out with our good friend Irumikin. Hey, I appreciate everybody being here. Hey, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, feel free to stick around for the raid. Um, I still haven't fixed my Discord command or my Daz command. Hey, buy stuff at Daz. I think I might have a new product out tomorrow. I'll keep an eye out for that. We got the raid calls. If you're not a sub, you get to use that. If you are a sub, you are cool. And you get to use the sub raid call. If you're not a sub, you're cool too. You're just a little cooler if you are a sub. That's all I'm saying. /raid Irumakin. There we go. The Pope of Indiana, I have heard him called. All right. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I will be back Saturday, 1 p.m. We're doing 3D stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be working on this or if I'm going to be trying to start something else. Because, there's not really a lot to this. So I'm probably just going to kind of crank it out. Oh, I heard a noise. What did I hear a noise? Let me see if my Twitch can catch it before it fades off. DJ Streaming. Thank you for that sub there, DJ Streaming Synergy. I appreciate that. Or is that... No, that's a gift sub from Charles. Charles! You demand, Charles. Thank you for the... And is that 2 gift subs? I see Charles gifted a sub to Esrom. And did you gift the sub? Oh, you are the Esrom. Esrom. You're like the coolest cat. Absolutely the coolest cat. Esrom's one of those people you just get cooler just watching him. That's how cool he freaking is. Anyhow, let's go over and say hi to Irumakin. Well, that's true. Now you're just a little bit cooler with the sub. That's true. But how could Esrom be any cooler? He's got one of my subs now, so he's just that much cooler. Who knew? We thought he was already the coolest thing on the planet. Well, he's still the coolest. But now he's even cooler, much more cooler than we'll ever be. Anyhow, let's go over and say hi to Esrom. He's doing words on stream. Thank you all for being here. I will be back Saturday, 1 p.m., doing something 3D. And then, of course, Saturday night, 8 p.m., it's the Saturday Night Social Art Share Discord chat. It's an old cartoon. I'm looking at public domain cartoons from 1930, so I'm not sure what I'll be pulling up, but we'll see. Anyhow, let's get this raid on the road. I already got the raid on the road. What, or did I hit? Oh, I raided already. Damn it.